Hey everybody, Fantastic Girl here, and yes, I switched locations. I went from, my living room to back here in the weight room. As you can tell, my fiance is the one who owns this room. Okay, but I figured this would be a better location because there's less noise in here. I can actually make better lighting, so to speak. Hold on, let me just not point this directly at my face. There we go. Okay. Better lighting. See? So today's video is about the pet situation. Yes, the pets have changed around in ways I wish didn't have to happen, but it's just what it is. So you guys probably already know about our cats. We have Sarah, who is the little itty bitty old grumpy tabby Maine Coon thing we have. She's grumpy as hell, and she's sweet, but she's also just really grumpy. There's Salem, our little black vampire kitty, because he has those really long fangs, and he just kind of keeps them out all the time, so he's our vampire kitty. And we have Pirate, the only cat who goes in and out now because he tends to bother the cats a lot, and he just seems so restless, and he will go into the cabinets and go through the cabinets looking for food if he does not get let out. We discovered putting him outside gets him to stop doing that, so that's what we've done. This is the part I really didn't want to talk about. The dogs. As you guys knew, we had Buddy, Doctor, Max, and Thor, and well, we still have 4 dogs, but it's not the same 4 dogs. We still have Buddy, Max, Thor. Buddy is our older German Shepherd Corgi Rottweiler mix, who has to wear a cone because he scratches himself way too much, and he keeps scratching himself so much he bleeds. So we have to keep a cone on him at all times. And the fact that he has no depth perception creates moments of hilarity of him running into stuff. But, it's still good. Max is our scaredy cat chihuahua who knows he's only 5 pounds of fluff and can easily be tossed like a football. And then Thor, he was our puppy. Well, he still is our puppy. He is now 6 months old and he's a big boy. And I'll do another video later showing you guys all the animals so you guys know. And then Doctor. The dog I had for 4 years. I raised him from a puppy, and he was my ESA. But ever since I roomed with people, he started acting not how he used to be, I guess. It's like he became super clingy obsessed with me. He didn't like other people. He didn't like other animals. It's just nothing I could do could get him to chill. And one night he tried to essentially kill Max. I don't know if it was because Max was pestering him or what, but Dusty saw this. I was at work. I was working night shift. He had grabbed Max by the neck and was, flinging him around like he was a rag doll. Then he snapped on Dusty and Aunt Sarah, who is and tried to take a chunk out of Buddy, which if he didn't have the cone, he would have been fine. I don't know if you guys knew that we had to put him outside by this time, but yeah. I don't even know if you guys knew about Thor. I honestly can't remember what my last few videos were like, but we had to put him outside, and because our back fence was messed up, we had to keep him on a leash. And I had a cousin who said, this dog, it's not that he's a bad dog. He just wants to be the only dog for a person. He wanted to be only my dog. He couldn't handle the fact that I liked other animals. I can't just love one dog. I can't. I probably have about 50 dogs I'm in love with just from walking through on those days. Where there's pet adoptions and stuff, so it's really hard for me to just pick one animal. And he just wanted to be the only good boy. So I have a cousin who lives by himself, and he said he could probably take Doctor. And so I was waiting, and for months didn't hear back on the plans, because this guy lives in Kansas, I live in Texas. That's gonna take some planning about who's gonna go where to pick up doctor and all that good stuff. And he last month I spent at my friend Megan's house, and he finally told me like halfway through that he couldn't take him. And it was just like, apparently he never really could take him, and I just kind of wish he told me that to begin with, because we would have found him a place after that. And maybe what would have happened might not have happened. I don't know. I can't predict the future. So we were going to have an appointment with SPCA, which they have their appointments on Sundays, or not Sundays, Saturdays. And so his appointment was that Saturday of that week to see if he would be okay enough for them to have a foster and all of that. They already were aware of his past with other animals, and just that he needed to be in a house where he's the only animal. He can tolerate cats better than he can other dogs, unless if they're females. So that was what we told them. And the day before he was supposed to go, Dusty called me, and he said that his dad called him while he was at work, and he was on his way home. That doctor might have been dead. And I was just like, okay, maybe it's just your dad not realizing that he's taking a nap or something, where he's just stuck and he can't move. And he's usually a smart dog. When he's stuck, he usually just sits there and barks and barks and barks, like, get me out. But not long after that, Dusty called me back, and it was true. The doctor was dead. He had broken his neck, and it's not because he got caught on anything. What it was he was actually halfway out in the yard, meaning he found something he wanted to chase, and he ran so fast that it broke his neck when the leash caught him. And the only reason why we didn't have the leash extend all throughout the yard is the back gate he could easily go in and out of, and last thing I wanted him to do is get caught out there, and then him start a fight with another dog and die or something. And yeah. So we didn't know how. First of all, before y'all get upset about the fact we don't have his ashes, we didn't know that there were places here that can pick up the animal, cremate them, and you can have their ashes. We didn't know that. We only knew that it was illegal for us to bury in the backyard, because something about having to do with groundwater and such. Also because this is an area where a lot of dog fighting happens, so those who bury their dogs in the backyard are apparently seen as people who fight with their dog. But so we didn't know what to do. We didn't think to look it up. And so we had to wait all weekend for animal control to finally come out and do their job and pick him up. And then they told him, no, you can't have the ashes because of some bullshit. Which I've heard from other people in this area that yes, you can. They should not have done that and all that. So we don't have his ashes. The only things really I have of Doctor is his certificate of being an ESA, his collar, and his harness, which is somewhere in my storage unit, which we have to go look through. Maybe tonight. I have something I need to get. But, I may not seem like I'm really sad about it. It's just I've had to internalize it, because it's just what you need to do. It's also something I'm mentioning in the next video why. But at least I know he's at least in a place where he's appreciated. As a Catholic, we believe animals do go to heaven. And especially dogs. So at least I know he's up there being cared for, being told every day that he's a good boy. So, yeah. And then about 4 weeks later, literally about a month, this was like 2 weeks in when this happened, and I was there for a month and a half, so Right before I came back home, we had Dusty come by because we had to do some stuff around Megan's house that needed a heavy lifter. And we needed Dusty, so he came by, and we were still going to wait another week before I go home because we still had some stuff we had to finish up at the house. But we just needed that little bit of help. And so we went to PetSmart right before we went to church at 5 p.m. And we saw that, because we needed to go to PetSmart to get hay for Megan's guinea pigs, because they needed hay. If anybody knows how much hay 4 guinea pigs eats, yeah, you get why we had to buy like 3 bags full. But we went and we looked at the dogs, and there was one dog that was literally just sitting in the back, just kind of, shush, I didn't need your food. There was one dog that sit in the back of her crate, just kind of staring around, moping. Didn't really want to do anything, and when I came up, she literally got up, walked over to me, reached her hand out of the cage, and just was like pawing at the bag, and kept doing that until I grabbed her hand, and then she sat and she started doing this. Like she was the happiest dog ever, and I was like, because this was after Doctor died, and it was like, there's only been 2 dogs, if you count her, that have ever picked me. And that was her and Doctor. So we adopted her. It's literally the most impulsive thing I've done regarding adopting a pet. And her name's Daisy May. Yes, the middle name is included. Her name's Daisy May. And she's a little bit of a handful, but that's because she's still a puppy. She's about 5 months old, about the same age as Thor. So at least she's gonna have a buddy to grow up with and all that good junk. But the next day we had to take her to a clinic because we noticed that she still had stitches for being spayed. Apparently her foster mother was never told when her staples were supposed to come out. They were supposed to go back and take in her staples, and the volunteers didn't see it like that because she was just laying down the entire time and nobody noticed. We noticed because I felt something scratch while I was playing with her, and Megan saw the wires after that because I said ow because something scratched me, and she noticed that. So, but one of the volunteers from the PetSmart dog adoption event was there at that clinic and said, if you didn't adopt her, I would adopt her for you and give her to you, because apparently I was the only person she had taken a liking to. She just sat in the back acting like she didn't want anything to do with her bone, she didn't want anything to do with her toy. But then after I decided I was going to adopt her, she suddenly was more active and wanted to chew on her bone and play with her toy. And she was apparently the happiest dog that she had ever seen coming out of an adoption. I do know that she doesn't like being held. That's the only thing. She doesn't like being picked up or held, which makes bath time fun. Yeah, so that's the situation with the dogs. Megan, back when Doctor died, she's like, you should make a painting and stuff for him, and I can't bring myself to do something like that for an animal who's died, because if I paint a picture of him and then I hang it up, I'm just going to be depressed every day I look at it. So I've decided to instead, I still am collecting every photograph, video, evidence of my dog existing, as like a little tribute video to him. You know, my little goodbye. That'll be after these update videos are done. And yeah, that'll be the first video that's not an update. And then the next video will be an introduction to the pets. So yeah, tomorrow's update is, I think, might be the last update, I don't know. But it's definitely one you're gonna want to see, because I can't even tell you what it is at the end of this one. So anyway, guys, I'll see you next time.